has the potential to be an interesting one, and I want to see it deliver as such. Good evening, everybody. My name is Ito. I'm happy to bring you another ESEA Advanced Season 33 match. This time, we're going to be seeing SpaceX face off against Polar Ace North. A doubleheader for Polar Ace North. They did well in their first match, winning it 16-11. Let's see if they can do the same against SpaceX. Now, SpaceX, they're a team that I haven't actually really covered much at all this season. And I'm very interested in seeing their form here because they are 7-2 in the season. And I believe their only 2 losses in the season were to teams that have a even better record to them. Let me go ahead and just check and make sure I'm for sure. They lost to Lewd Anime Swingers and Buff Daddy's PayPal team. Now, Lewd Anime Swingers absolutely crushed them. They're doing actually slightly worse than SpaceX right now. But Buff Daddy's PayPal team, they're flawless, so that makes sense why they would be caught out in that sort of sense. But I mean, ever since losing those first initial 2 games, they have been flawless since, and hopefully looking to keep up the ante versus Polar Ace North, I should say. Hey, what's up, Mills? How you doing? Always good to see you around, dude. And it's always good to see a nice little headshot to start things off here to Papa and Branton holding down long. Although Branton hasn't exactly peeped his head much over towards Car. He can peek up, but there is going to be a player coming from Cat to really spoil the plan. First base X here, and Shanks. Oh my lord, Shanks! The 4K at the end. Those first 2, sure, those were courtesy. The third, nuts. Fourth one, absolutely absurd. Just one taps a player over at B. That's... What is with the pistol rounds that we have seen today? Unbelievable plays from Shanks in just the first pistol round, and if that's not a sign to come, then I think we are in for a fantastic match here. Quick play from SpaceX over towards Long, trying to make these Deagles do their magic here. Unfortunately, Shanks can't do the same magic that he had in the last round, and suddenly, immediately, we're down to 1-on-3. There's still a little over a minute and 30, and like this 4-pack has to do it all. Now, they do have 2 rifles to work with SpaceX. This is definitely a winnable scenario with them, even more so since 4-pack is going to eventually tap away Iestra. Or Astra, I'm not exactly sure what to pronounce their name like. But 4-pack, unfortunately, can't divide the fights the way that he'd hope. And because of that, SpaceX will even things up immediately. That super quick play out towards Long. I wasn't a big fan of it from Polar Ace North. It seems that they wanted to really gamble and try to like take that long control early and hope that it'd work out for them. Unfortunately, yeah, didn't quite get the result that they wanted. Still a beautiful pistol round though, so you can always take that from it. I want to keep an eye on Shanks with the pistol. He seems like one absolutely absurd beast with it. Oh, Astra. Holding Cat with a picked up AK-47. Does the job just fine. The nade doesn't quite land, but I'm sure he can hold down the fort. Did you try to make a dry contact play up? No nades necessary. There's only one in Shanks' hand at the moment. And he's over towards Long. Could flash his teammates up theoretically, but right now Polar Ace are just kind of prodding around, seeing if they can get any free frags, but no give. SpaceX won't give it to them. A flash out from Shanks will mark the end of the utility available for the T side, and there's absolutely no give from SpaceX. Instead, they'll actually toss out a decent amount of their own utility, and speaking of decent, those were some decent frags from Polar Ace North. They're actually going to be able to storm and overwhelm on the Ace bomb site with almost no one from SpaceX there to receive them. Although there's a player in Branton sitting in pit with a Krieg, this is still a pretty surprisingly tough retake from SpaceX. They don't have any kits in play. The utility is a bit lackluster. They have a smoke and a nade, and Branton will have to go massive with it. The nade gets tossed out, and he gets a kill behind it. 3-on-3. It's looking better with time here for SpaceX. However, they need to finish up the job, and Shanks has something to say about that, but it's the same story for 4-pack. He just gets all the refrags necessary for Polar Ace to steal away the round, and it's going to be 2 for the terrorists. That was a really good one. Just the fact that they were able to get up catwalk and up towards the A site practically for free was game-changing. Really made them come out on top of that win. The refrags were there as well, and because of it, they will award themselves with a second. SpaceX trying to hold down long and trying to do that same anti-eco strat that we saw after the pistol. There's actually a TK coming through, but that's really all the damage that you're going to see on Polar Ace North. There will be another pistol going the way of Bobo, and that's all there'll be. Wait, when did Retchie die? I don't even remember that. Well, either way, it's not exactly the most lethal of rounds from SpaceX. So not off to the hottest start for them. No more trading rounds back and forth. And again, it was a little bit risky for Polar Ace to take it out long super early like that, but I guess it worked out just fine for them. Again, I saw in that second round, and I just wasn't convinced since the Deegs managed to do God's work there. Now pause comes through, and SpaceX won't have any economy to speak of for round number 5. They're going to have a couple of upgraded pistols, actually only one. Meanwhile, it's going to be a default pistol stack only, and a couple of players going to get boosted up towards Cat. Not the fastest spawn in the world, but it's definitely workable, and I mean, Polar Ace North are going to be ready for it. A triple for Poise. Wants to make it a quad too, has a decent chance of it, but Tupapa can't quite get the job done, so another quick cleanup round. It's nothing fancy, but most definitely gets the job done. And that's the kind of clean anti-eco that you want to see if you're a fan of Polar Ace North too. They can really start building up their economy a little bit more. You see Poise is already up to 7,000 bucks. That can be good for rounds to come. 4-pack. He doesn't quite get the tag on the player crossing through mid. Because of that, SpaceX will be unscathed in the early round. Some of these have been very quick rounds too, so I think that's actually a much needed change. And what is that? Just a flurry of frags immediately. I mean, Brandon is able to get one, sure, but just Polar Ace, they strike at once and they just immediately get all the kills they need. Just 3, all within a millisecond, it felt like, and that's it. That's the 5th for Polar Ace. There's nothing that SpaceX can do other than save their guns. They don't have the money to bother going for this retake here, nor do they have the kits any utility to speak of here. And Polar Ace North are just trying to strangle the guns out of SpaceX and will get all the results that they want. And that gun round was a swift death for SpaceX. Immediately dispatched Dev over towards B as well as C, or as a mid. I mean, it's just impossible to catch all the action when they're just taken care of just as soon as they even made their way into the B bomb site, it feels like. And Polar Ace North don't want to let off the gas pedal at all. Retchie's already pushing through. He's made his way into CT spawn. Buddy, you're at the wrong spawn. This is where the enemies are supposed to be coming from, and Retchie, unfortunately, isn't ready for the duels to boot. SpaceX makes into a 2, well, actually a 1 on 3, and although Sunny gets the D win for the first kill, it's still a very tough ask for him to find any more. A little bit of team damage comes through too, and as expected, another clean round from Polar Ace. I say clean in a very probably not the right use. I wouldn't say that was a clean round by any means. The fact that they dropped 3 players, I feel like is telling enough. Double ops coming out. It looks like both of them are going over towards long. 4-pack, the tag doesn't connect. I'm a bit interested to see what Sunny can do with this AWP. Unfortunately, the duels are happening elsewhere. A quick pop out towards mid means that Polar Ace are going to even things up. Although SpaceX have tried to make it bloody, there's another TK coming through. I mean, Polar Ace North, it feels like the only people that can take them down is their own teammates. And again, another really quick one here. I think Polar Ace just want to get to sleep. This is a later match than normal, and they're a bit tired. They'll go up a nice quick 7-1. No need to slow down the pace, just straight up pugging down mid, down B, down A. It all works out for them at the moment. SpaceX only have a single round to show for it, and that was on the second force-up too. Who would have thought that's the only round that SpaceX get together? No tags. Tex says, I want to give you a quick masterclass. Maybe I'll actually be able to go to the gym today, especially if Reggie keeps up this kind of performance. He's tapping away. Add another couple over at long, and he'll be poised to seal all the glory at the end of the day. And it's another quick one. I mean, really, what can you even say at this point? It feels like a matchmaking game. And SpaceX are my team. They're tired of it. We are going for a speed run right now. 8-1 now. Who would have thought SpaceX are struggling this much versus Polar Ace? I mean, sure, Polar Ace, they're an intimidating team. They also have gotten a single win today, but SpaceX, they're no slouches either. They've won something like 7 games in a row now and have been flawless for almost this entire season, minus their first 2 games. They don't give a damn. Poised, he maybe gives too little of a care. And although they're going for a very scrimmy execute into A, finally they'll meet their maker, and SpaceX will put themselves in a very favorable situation to pick up a second now. Now the gig is up. Polar Ace don't exactly get that same wiggle room that they've been getting all games so far. They have some decent map control, but they don't have any kills, and it even gets more dire. Sunny is able to pick up one with an AWP, and this is looking to be kind of a flat round now. SpaceX, if they win this, it would be a nice boost to their confidence. Not losing any guns and being able to build up a little bit more economy would really help them. Especially if Polar Ace North are able to strike right back. Nope. Shanks does have the bomb over towards A. Maybe trying to drag a couple of rotations over. However, SpaceX don't seem convinced. Marv is just trying to contact. Out towards Tons at the moment. No give. Shanks can't get anything done either. So that is a nice flawless round from SpaceX. Definitely really able to kind of clean up the scraps that Polar Ace North were giving them. That quick prod, you know, out towards B. You saw the immediate drop into CT as well. It goes punished eventually. You know, you give them enough room and SpaceX will finally deliver. It takes a while for them to get into it, don't get me wrong, and it seems Polar Ace still are toying with their food a little bit. They have triple AWPs on the T side of Dust 2 and already 2 kills away of SpaceX. It's quick for either side, either faction at the moment. But right now it definitely is favoring SpaceX, at least for these past couple. Retchie wants to drag things back into his team favors. The snipers are the only ones remaining in the picture. Oh, and Sunny actually just gave away his position over towards CT now. Luckily, it goes unpunished. Oh, but they are dancing with death right now. He still thinks it's over towards CT, but he has the complete wrong idea. Again, there's almost no room for Polar Ace now in this round. Especially so, since they have AWPs. We'll check their angles, sure, but this kind of feels like they're staving off the inevitable. A 3-on-5 situation like how SpaceX are playing it at the moment would require some absolutely absurd shots, and I don't think SpaceX will give it to him. Now, they've been hitting them, don't get me wrong, especially Shanks. We saw that pistol. It feels like a hurdle too tall to jump. Marv, given an opportunity, can't capitalize upon it. But Shanks can, continuing his good shots hit. 2-on-3 now into a 1-on-3. Tupapa strikes from Goose and takes down Shanks. At last, Retchie, though he spots a player over at B, he divides his fights perfectly. Somehow gets that one onto Aestra from Carr, but there's no time left. Retchie just probably is going to save this AWP. However, he's going for blood. But the blood won't come. And the vampire will retreat into his den until night comes again or something like that. I don't know. That sounded cooler in my head. Another one. SpaceX looking a little more solid and solid. They had a bit of a fumble towards the end just because they weren't able to win those AWP duels, but no matter. They seem to be doing fine regardless. Off to a very good start for sure. Lightning storm of flashes. or that A, excuse me. And a quick double entry from Polar Ace just puts them straight into the driver's seat. Again, Polar Ace North just take this so fast. They either win fast or lose slow. And right now, I thought it was going to be a win fast, but they're looking to lose. Dropping 3 players in a matter of seconds, although they get the A bomb site. It's not without its question marks. It's planted, and the retake will begin now. 2 healthy players on SpaceX versus the 2 very weak of Polar Ace North. Shanks has a completely free opportunity to take care of Sunny. That shot wasn't even on his head. How did that connect? That's absurd. Everything is going the way of Shanks at the moment as he's looking for a triple to put Polar Ace North on 9. SpaceX are just struggling to stay afloat in this game here, and although Aestra will find the first, Shanks surely will hit his second, and indeed he does. He does not falter. Shanks is just incredible on the server right now. 20 kills already, and we're only 13 rounds in. It's been a quick one. But my lord, these are some high rollers right here. Rifles bought across the board. No AWPs, surprisingly, this time around. So Shanks drops on over towards Suicide, and hello there, Sonny. Good day, Sunshine. Reggie falls immediately. And now SpaceX right back into the driver's seat they go. Usually SpaceX have been able to win these 4 versus 5 advantages a few times they've been given them, but really it just feels like Polar Ace have been able to strike so quickly. Like a venomous snake, they just immediately get away, 2-3 kills. It's insane out of nowhere. But when they're not given that opportunity freely, it can lead to some problems. 4-Pack will be trying to force the issue. Jump down into CT. This time, he does take a bit of fall damage, but he goes down relatively safely, I suppose you can say. Take a look at Tupapa, though. Has a chance to cause some real trouble. They absolutely know that a player is sitting in CT. There's no way they don't. 4-Pack kind of feels on borrowed time right now, but this is potentially a winnable situation. Bomb is getting rotated over towards B, and Bobo holding towards Car. Hears those footsteps, no doubt. But with only a 5-7 to do the job with, this is still a pretty tough ask versus those rifles. And rifles indeed show up in the kill feed. Tupapa and Branted find 2 to 4-Pack's 1. And this is looking like the end of the line now. Fantastic positions for SpaceX can most likely net them the round win. However, Marv has somehow made it out mid-B unscathed. How has he gotten this far out? Boys might be able to get an entry too. Unfortunately, no. No luck for him, and it'll be up to Marv. 1 versus 3, and finally striking from behind will be Tupapa. He can't quite get all of what he needs. SpaceX, though, still get the round together. No harm, no foul. 4 rounds for SpaceX and an AWP to play with, too. Makes this a pretty tough ask for Polar Ace North now. They're stuck on scouts. Triple out towards long. Bobo already tagged through. Was that from a scout? I didn't even realize that happened. Good start from Polar Ace North, especially since they have Galils to work with. That makes it so Bobo can actually get one shot by them. So perhaps that can pay dividends at the end of this round. It's all a question mark at the end of the day. Smoking SpaceX and a nade to follow. It's not a great nade. There's opportunity for more nade damage to come through, especially from Branted, who, speaking of which, is holding over towards long. Aestra is dancing with death here, but doesn't want to do the tango. We'll back off into CT spawn and into the A site. Polar Ace don't go. I thought they were, but that Molotov seemed to have convinced them otherwise, at least for the time being. Shanks arriving late to the fun. We'll have a scout to play with. 2 scouts, 2 rifles, or 2 Galils, and a MAC-10. It looks like it's just going to be a bum rush up towards A. Tupapa, are you ready for the absolute action you're going to have to take? Aestra will be first point of contact. Tags down Reggie once, and Aestra not being given these kind of opportunities that he wants. Staying over towards Goose, Tupapa will be there to have his teammates back, and they aren't checking their angles. 2 frags for the CTs just like that, and suddenly Polar Ace North are looking absolutely terrible in this one here. The initial tags don't do them much good when they can't finish the job, and although 4-Pack finds 1 with a Galil, there's 3 more to go, and he'll only get 1 before he eventually, falls through the cracks, and put SpaceX on 5. It was looking fantastic for Polar Ace out north at the beginning, but seemed to have cooled down considerably in the past couple. It's a welcome change for SpaceX, so I'm sure they'll take that 9 times out of 10. Any day of the week, however you want to think of your metaphors. Playing over towards car. Bobo hears all. Oh my lord, Sonny. How's he already eaten that much damage? He's bleeding internally. 7 to his name. Iester will try to have his back, but I don't really think that much of a chance will be ready for him. But he continues to prove me wrong, although both the mid players are definitely very, very hurt. They're staying alive for the time being, and Sonny is still delivering. Through it all, he stays alive. But unfortunately, death was waiting for him. AWP retrieved for Polar Ace North to work with. However, 4-pack is all by his lonesome and gets picked off all by his lonesome. Eventually, things will fall all on Deploy's with a CZ75 and no chance of an upgrade, at least for the time being. What can he realistically do? It's the last round of the half. There's no reason not to go for it, but I don't really think he has much of a decent chance in this one here, especially since Tupapa will be watching. Actually, not watching the right angle, but surely will be turning around right now. Indeed, but the taps are through from Poise, and if he can hit this double, that'd be huge, but unfortunately, no. No miracles for now. It's 9-6 at the half, favoring the CT side, and there'll be a small break before we head into the second part of the action. But definitely, that was all Polar Ace North for the very beginning of that half, just bum rushing their way down mid, down through A. I think we even saw B once or twice. But towards the end, SpaceX started to get a better read on the situation. Polar Ace North weren't hitting those crazy shots that they were for the first half. I mean, look back on that pistol 4K Shanks got. That was disgusting. I don't think I'll ever see something like that for a while. Today's been a very good day for pistol rounds. Game I casted earlier, the losing team had this crazy pistol ace. But I think Shanks kind of one-ups that just a little bit. Again, small break. Players got to use the bathroom and stuff, etc., etc. But right back into the action we go. Again, 9-6 at the half if you're just tuning in. My name is Ito. I have to put on a good show towards the end of this. Or, yeah, we're actually at the halfway point. I won't say the end. You never know how long this game could last. What is this? 2 P250s. This is, I mean, I've been seeing the P250 getting a lot of love recently on pistols, but this kind of feels like new ground. Giving up the USPs just for the sake of using it. Tupapa has to be a bit careful. There's going to be 3 people watching his head intently, but they all turn away. Reggie will get a second shot at it, excuse me, and 4-pack lit up hard. Same story with Shanks. It's an even Stevens trade, and it's looking awfully identical across both sides here, but Polar Ace North will drag it back into their favor. Tupapa, despite trying to cause chaos and thread the needle on those shots, can't quite make it work, and because of that, Polar Ace North will heavily steamroll and put themselves in a 4 versus 2 into a 4 versus 1, just like that here. Good shots from Branted, makes it a little more palatable, and he can even side grade to a USP if he so wishes, but now he has kind of this gigantic target painted on his back. He hears a bunch of footsteps coming through T-spawn. This is actually surprisingly more possible than I thought, but dragged back to reality we go. Double digits for Polar Ace North. They finally get to that elusive 10-round mark, something they've struggled to get towards the end of their T-half. Will now be practically gifted to them after a flurry of frags goes their way over at mid. Now SpaceX don't exactly have any money to speak of. They didn't get the bomb down. It wasn't even a close endeavor on the pistol. And so I'm pretty sure Polar Ace North are just going to easily clean up. There it is. It's a complete massacre. 4K for 4-pack, living up to his name. But that was exactly what you'd expect on an anti-eco when you see Glock face off against an M4 like that. A nice little bit of money to tuck in your belt for 4-pack, though. He's up to 4,900. However, the real issues start now. SpaceX will afford 3 Kriegs to put into the round coming. And Retchie, ooh, this is a strange setup from Polar Ace North. I'm not exactly sure I'm a fan of it. However, 4-pack, oh, no way they're going to check for a second. That's brilliant. It's kind of a one and done. Surely that's not going to work multiple times. But are they expecting a third player? No, they aren't. Shanks is able to deliver 2. Shanks is just unstoppable this game. He's 23-11 and can possibly make it 24. It's Bobo against 2. It's a winnable clutch, that's for sure. But Poised will try to end it right here, right now. Spotted in lower tons. Bobo will snuff him out. Now it's Shanks. He needs to get the triple to close it out. Smoke towards mid will make a little bit easier for Bobo to try to sneak up on the Xbox. But Shanks, knowing Bobo is low, can surely finish him off. This would have to be a gorgeous shot from Bobo, but unfortunately, it's a Shanks having his just amazing game, 24-11. If it was against anybody else, Bobo might have won. But against Shanks, not a cold day in hell. Poised chooses not to prod over towards long. That will be the T's job for the time being. He's actually excavated his way by Carr, and he could be in for a bit of a rough time. It's 4-on-4 already. That Deagle has actually found work, but I think Poise has officially gotten us out of that danger zone. 2-on-3. With still plenty of time to spare. These, again, have been some of the quickest rounds I've seen in a long time. No harm, no foul. The shots are hit. Granted, despite his best efforts, will fall all the same. 13-6. Polar Ace North are really starting to run away with this one. Or excuse me, the Clutch Bag boys are really starting to run away with that one. This one. All of them. It's just all Polar Ace. All day. Double AWP in play as well from the Clutch Bag boys. Double flash and a smoke comes through over towards long. SpaceX are just trying to snuff out some rotations and sniff out the positions of the waiting CTs. But this weird setup after weird setup, like look at this from 4-pack. How did you prep for that? Luckily the refrag is perfect and Polar Ace North will end up on the back foot of this one. But Marv is, he's at T-spawn. That's not where, oh my god, he could actually find Sunny here. He can't be running, but I guess it doesn't matter. Sunny, thank God he watches for it, but he's still going to peek his head. Marv has a perfect opportunity to strike and absolutely ruin all the hopes and dreams of SpaceX right now. How have they not heard him? How is he still delivering? He finds the first over towards Suicide. It's a suicidal play, but it seems to be getting all the work done. He's going to be able to get the triple, the quad for the round as well. And it's this Marv now stealing all the glory. Gone are the day of Shanks popping off. This time it's Marv. Incredible heroics. These crazy pushes into T-spawn. Sneaky flanks around. I don't understand how it keeps on catching SpaceX off guard, but they just look dazed and confused. They don't know what to do about it. Now Polar Ace North, they're just toying with their food here. I mean, look at what Shanks is doing. A Krieg pushing in towards lower tons. I mean, it's a one and done, sure, but that is kind of a sign of things to come. But finally starting to get punished for some of this absurd aggression now. 2 players pushing in towards upper tunnels. Will eventually be stuck on the back foot of things. SpaceX will quickly rotate by long to go ahead and make this into the most palatable situation they can. Brant is spotted over at mid. Eventually falls all the same. But this will allow SpaceX to calmly and safely get up on the site, making this a pretty tough retake for the CTs. Considering that, I mean, although they have 2 kits, not much utility, and I can't believe it. They already found the first frag. I mean, there's just almost no downtime at all in these rounds, apparently. Sunny struggles with the Galil, and Reggie, how does he win that one? These are some of the strangest rounds I've seen in a long time, but just every single time, Polar Ace North are just absolutely mauling their competition. That was the most promising chance yet for SpaceX. It was a 2 versus 2 heading into the post plant, and they had plenty of time to, you know, maybe hide a player over towards pit or something at long. Plant for long, who knows? But I mean, no give. Everybody seems to be firing off on all cylinders right now. Triple push into lower tunnels. You can't get much more BM than this. Marv, meanwhile, at the B site, will fall victim to the 4 firing range members of SpaceX. 4-on-4, and this is actually looking pretty promising again. Although it enters a pulse point very early on, the B site is notoriously hard to retake here. And even a 4-on-4, I heavily favor SpaceX in this one. Not much utility to speak of, something I can't exactly echo the same sentiment for Polar Ace North, but their time is starting to run low. That bomb has already ticked a decent amount, and they haven't had any kills, any map control to speak of. Not even noteworthy enough, and I think just like that, the round is going to be over. I can't see them getting away with this one here. SpaceX, with 2 kills going their way, with only 1 in return from Rechi, will make it so, and SpaceX will improve to 7. But even it's not, or even at the end of the day, it's not without its bloody battles. Polar Ace North, although they're going to have to save for this one here, by at pistols. SpaceX aren't exactly in the healthiest state economically either. You see that they're going to have to cut some corners. Maybe force up Galil, something of the sort. It's not going to be the prettiest sight, so Polar Ace North still have a horse in this race. Another neutral game here. SpaceX finally getting their first T round too. Much needed. But there still is a long way to go. Oh, poised. He could easily spoil the fun here. Finds one and somehow it's into a 4-on-4. Shanks could even get another one here. Oh my lord, you gotta look a little bit downward, Shanks. Luckily he gets the kill at the end of the day though. And 3-on-3. Who would have thought we'd be saying it off of a buy like this? Who thought we'd be saying 3-on-2? This is now solidly in favor of Polar Ace North. They have armor and they have rifles to speak of. SpaceX, this was their round to win. This was their chance to get back into the game, but they just don't have a chance. Incredible plays. It's really Shanks. It's been his show. But I don't even feel like this is necessarily too bad from SpaceX. It's just these pushes down out in the middle of nowhere. Just always catch them off guard. They always fall victim. And I can't see them somehow dragging their way back through this one. Shanks will have the cross watched perfectly with a Krieg, the best gun in this sort of situation. Double smoke can go out towards CT spawn. That's no problem. But even he, feeling himself right now, wants to push through it. Force the issue to SpaceX right now. But even when they're watching for it, Shanks still delivers. Unbelievable. Come on. How do they keep doing it? Can anybody stop Polar Ace North right now? Can anybody stop Shanks right now? That was, like, SpaceX even played that right. They played that perfectly right. They watched for a push through the smoke. That flash was good, sure, but then Shanks somehow gets the double spray down. It's just crazy. This man is absurd. Easily my player of the match. 32 kills in that 16-7 game makes it one of the most dominant so far for Polar Ace North. My lord, 20.3 RWS and 138.52 ADR to boot. Shanks absolutely dominates the opposition and improves the record of Polar Ace North now to 7-2. One scary team, that's to be sure. That is going to be the end of me for tonight, though. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name was Ito, and is Ito. If you guys enjoyed, please feel free to drop a follow, or if you're into it, also drop a Twitch Prime. It does help me. But if not, that's also cool. I'm just happy you guys are watching. Anyway, have a good night. We'll see you soon.